Hello and welcome to my review of Les Miserables. Don't worry, I won't sing all of this review, but click on subscribe would all of you. Hello everyone, sorry. Welcome to my review of Les Mis, or Les Miserables, whatever you call it. Yes, the very popular musical. The film adaptation of the very popular musical. This film stars Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Anne Hathaway, Amanda Seyfried, Redmanye, Helena Bonham Carter, Sacha and Cohen, and a lot of other people. Les Mis, the story, well, it's a big story. There's loads of different stories. Basically, it starts out with this man named Jean Valjean, this convict who escapes his parole. He was arrested for stealing some bread to feed his sister's son, and he's being hunted down by Javert, this inspector played by Russell Crowe. Then it kind of leads into sort of Anne Hathaway's character Fantine. She has a child, Cosette, who she's providing for, who is under the kind of accommodation of this innkeeper and his wife, Thénardier, and his wife, Mrs. Thénardier, played by Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter. They have a daughter called Eponine, blah blah blah. It spans over quite a few years, and then it all leads to the French Revolution, and yeah, there's this love triangle plot thrown in there as well, with this guy Marius, Cosette when she's older, who's the child, Eponine's involved in that as well, and it's about the revolution as well. There's essentially three different plots going on all at once, and it's, at first, it is quite hard to keep track, but yeah. Now, I thought I'd review a musical film on here, because I haven't actually done that yet, and when I first heard about Les Mis, everyone was raving about it, like, oh, there's a film of Les Mis coming out, like, what's Les Mis? Like, I knew what it was, I knew of it, but I didn't actually know what it was, because I'd never seen it or heard of it. But basically, I went along to see this, I saw this at the cinema, and I just thought, okay, I'll go along for the ride and see what it's like, because my sister loves this musical. This is her favourite musical. My mum saw it on stage years back, so she thought, okay, let's go and see the film. So I thought, I haven't seen it, so I dragged myself along, and from the opening to the ending I was like, whoa, okay, I think I get it now. I think I understand why people love this so much. I mean, from, you know, the very beginning, the opening, like, you're really hooked in, like, I think the music itself is very catchy, and you know the songs are really well written and performed by the cast. Hugh Jackman is utterly incredible. This is one of his best performances. Hugh Jackman as Jean Valjean, he is superb, and I really think he deserved an Oscar for it. But oh well, can't win them all. One day Hugh Jackman will get an Oscar. It's nice to see him play something different to Wolverine for a change. Yeah, and yeah, most of the cast are fine. Like, you know, but you know the standout performance. It's well, in terms of the male performances, Hugh Jackman easily. In terms of females, I know she's not on screen for very much, but Anne Hathaway is wonderful in this film. Well, I mean, her character goes through quite a lot of trauma, but you know, she played the part wonderfully. Like, her rendition of I Dream a Dream there's like, when I was watching this in the cinema, not even a pin drop, no rustling of the popcorn, no drinking of the drinks, silence. It was utter silence, and the same effect every time I watch it. There's just utter silence in the room, and this movie does strike hordes of emotional chords at you. Like, it's an emotional roller coaster from the very beginning. They throw you right in there, and by the end of it, you're like, that was quite an experience. It's quite a hard-hitting, you know, film in terms of, because it's ironically, because this is a musical, it is depressing. It's I can't lie. This film is depressing, and what happens to certain characters is tragic. I mean, yeah, Samantha Barks, who plays Eponine, she was good, but they should have used somebody who hadn't actually played the part before. Like, she was in the show. She played Eponine in the show, so having her in the film just seemed like kind of a cheat, really. Amanda Seyfried, she's good in the scene she's in. Sacha Baron Cohen didn't actually irritate me for once. I thought he was quite good with Helena Bonham Carter. They weren't in the film as much as some characters, but they were very good. Okay, here's the big thing. Russell Crowe. I know a lot of people have slated Russell Crowe for his singing in this film. I actually quite like him. I think he's good. He fits the character really well. I think you see his aggression and his determination to do his job and bring this man back to prison to answer for his crime. But you know, throughout the film, he's struggling so much, and you know, it all ends very badly. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen the film, but I think most people have. In the UK, this came out like early 2013, like January. I don't know why. It should have come out December 2012, but oh well. What can you do? There is a lot of emotion put into this film. I mean, Russell Crowe, I mean, yeah, he does suffer a little bit compared to some of the others who really have belting out voices. His is quite monotone, quite, you know, it's quite, it's not as powerful as certain, but it's not a terrible voice. His voice there's a nice sound to it, but it's just like, it's not like it's unlistenable like Pierce Brosnan singing. Yeah, I'll say no more on that. The production design and the sets are terrific. You know, Tom Hooper did his homework with coming up, with the locations to shoot this film. So being a film, you have to take a lot more artistic license with the sets because you're not on the stage. Although, I guess that's the kind of illusion of this, is that musical films, you're meant to believe that this is actually on stage when you're watching it at home. It's almost like they're taking you to the theatre without you actually having to go. If you get my drift. Pretty much 98% of this film is sung. 2% is like dialogue. There are like 2-3 moments of actual dialogue. Most of it is just sung. And this movie's long. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is really long for a film musical. And I must confess, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a long ride. And yes, folks, it is a long ride. It is a little bit too long. I can't deny. Towards the end, it's like, ooh, we've been here for a while. I mean, it does take its time to wrap up. In a way, I kind of like that because we've built up so much of this emotion and over the course of the film, and it's all kind of sort of rounding off. Like the very end is great. Like I love the songs. The songs are great. Like my favourite ones are probably "Look Down," which is the opening. "Confrontation." "Stars" I quite like by Russell Crowe. It's not too bad. "Master of the House," that's funny. That's good fun. We can't all be doom and gloom. There's got to be some light relief in there. Some nice comedy also by Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter. Other songs. Javert Suicide is quite traumatic. Spoiler alert. The epilogue, that's quite the ending. That's quite emotional. "I Dreamed a Dream." Anne Hathaway, my goodness, winner of 3 Academy Awards, Best Supporting Actress. Anne Hathaway, she deserved it. Oh my goodness, this movie is really surprising, like how great I actually loved it. I mean, for somebody who doesn't normally watch musical films, I really enjoyed this. I've seen a few like musical films. I've seen the Phantom of the Opera film, which is quite good. I've seen The Sound of Music, and I've actually been in it as well. I performed in it as well on stage. I was the Admiral von Schreiber, or whatever it was called. I mean, I can't deny it. Like, when I was watching it just now, I did sing along to a couple of the songs. Yeah, there are some classic songs in it. It's a real... And Tom Hooper's direction is superb. He really puts you in the mood. Like he puts you in the time, in the period, because it's set in a distinct period where in France life was really shit. Basically, it was unfair. It was unequal, and Tom Hooper does a good job of making you really become involved with this world, not necessarily in a good way, but to make you feel, this is the horror, this is what happened, back in the day, and that's, I think the most poignant example of it is the scene where Fontaine is basically committing prostitution for her daughter, to earn money for her daughter's welfare. Of course, it all doesn't go anywhere because Thénardier and his wife, they just want the money. They don't care about Cosette. They just have her there to do chores and stuff. In the end, I really, really loved Les Mis. I thought it was fabulous. It was really, really good. So much better than I thought it was going to be. And, well, yes, my only real criticism was that it was a little bit too long. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but it does edge towards a masterpiece. There are masterful directions taken. It's just, yeah, Russell Crowe's not as good as some of the others. I don't think he's terrible. It's just maybe a couple of moments he could have brushed up on, the voice. But in terms of the acting for the character, he got into that well. And the movie's a bit too long. I think it goes on for a while. If you're not a fan of musicals, you will probably not like this. I'd recommend it anyway because it's actually quite an involving film. If you like films with emotion and heart and impact, and well, if you like tragedies, this is the film for you, Les Miserables. I haven't seen it on stage, so I'm not the guy that's going to compare it to the stage version. Yes, this is the Blu-ray as well. My dad got this. I didn't actually buy this, but I'm so glad that I've got it on Blu-ray. It does look pretty good on Blu-ray. Anyway, I'm going to close this off now because I have to go and do some work. I'm going to give Les Miserables 9 out of 10. I know some of you want me to give it 10, but, I'm not a die-hard fan of it. I really liked it, though. Much better than I thought it was going to be. Really involving. You've really got to... You really feel for the characters. It's an emotional experience. It's not for the faint-hearted, and I think the BBFC were very lenient. They gave this movie a 12. I think it should have been a 15, because there were some brief sexual scenes, which, it wasn't, I can understand why they put it in there, but it's quite horrific to watch. There are some moments that younger kids might find disturbing or, upsetting or, scary even, like the whole lovely ladies thing. That is quite creepy. It's not for kids. It's not for kids, and it's not for the faint-hearted either. I'm quite happy to watch this. I don't condone what happens, back in the times, but I appreciate this is a film, and they're just showing you this vision. So yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. As always, I'm Mr. Titus11. See ya.